When we think of the term entrepreneur, we tend to think of people who are adventurous, aggressive, and charismatic. The stereotypical entrepreneur is Richard Branson, the billionaire founder of Virgin Group. He has put off a lot of PR stunts, such as cross-dressing as an air stewardess and driving a tank into Times Square, reflective of his flashy style. Another entrepreneur representative is Steve Jobs, who is charismatic and convincing. He has successfully conducted many product launches to big audiences and sold millions of Apple products. Mainstream media tends to play up certain personality traits of entrepreneurs. This is misleading because it makes us think that there is only one way to succeed in entrepreneurship. Either you are charismatic or you are doomed to fail. On the other hand, there are many successful entrepreneurs who are quiet and reserved, but people didn't know their personality because they are not portrayed in movies and media. For example, Henry Ford, who started Ford Motors, is not the stereotypical entrepreneur. He was not good at selling or talking or being in the media. Instead, he was a strong systems thinker. He created the assembly line production method of producing vehicles. Before that, cars were manually put together by hand, which takes up a lot of time and manpower. As a result of implementing the mass production method, Henry Ford managed to cut down the cost of making a car by as much as 90%. His company became very successful because of that. He didn't even have to do extensive selling or marketing of his products. By pricing the cars so much lower than their competitors, the demand just came in naturally. Demand was higher than supply. Henry Ford didn't have to be an eloquent salesman or a creative marketer like Steve Jobs to be super successful. You might be thinking, these are big businesses. What about SMEs? Don't we need to do sales in order to grow the business? Personally, I didn't come from a sales background. I am an introvert and I like being behind the scenes. When I went into the agency business, I realized that it is mostly driven by sales. Agencies used to be the sales department of media companies like newspaper or TVs. They sell advertising space and take a cut to make money. That was the business model of agencies. As such, many of the pioneers and competitors of my industry grew by using cold calling and one-to-one sales. These are people who are persuasive and confident in talking. At first, when we just started our agency, I copied our competitor's strategy. We started cold calling and also hired people to do it. As hard as we tried, this strategy just didn't work for us. I experimented with different opening lines, different database, but still could not figure out cold calling. We closed barely any deals. Later, I found out that this was not the right strategy for me. It was not aligned with my personality and strength. Even if I hired people to do it, I couldn't give them the right directions. As a digital marketing agency, it was ironic that we didn't consider using digital marketing at the start. We thought that we could just follow the strategy of other agencies and do cold calling. However, it turns out that digital marketing actually worked very well for us. I do much better with one-to-many approach than one-to-one approach. We started doing webinars, YouTube videos like this, and paid ads that ultimately gave our breakthrough. With one-to-many approach, I could spend hours and hours to create the perfect message in our video and ads campaign, as compared to having to think of something to say on the spot within 2 seconds. I was playing in my strength zone. The ad copies worked really well, and the client who found us online said our message is different. It's not the typical ads that they see on Facebook newsfeed that look like annoying sales pitch like grow your business 10x or make $10,000 per month, etc. We stood out on the newsfeed because a lot of thought and research goes into the ad. What I learned is that there are many ways to win in the market. Unlike mathematics, business is not black and white. There is no definite answer and straight path to success. Just because other people are doing it successfully doesn't mean that it works for me. The key thing is to find and leverage your strengths. It took me so many years to realize this. I wish someone had told me this earlier. Besides the charismatic entrepreneur like Richard Branson or the systematic entrepreneur like Henry Ford, there are many other types of entrepreneurs with different talents and personalities. To name a few, there is the intellectual entrepreneur like Robert Kiyosaki or Tim Ferriss. They came up with an intellectual concept and wrote books around it and created a movement that generated a lot of money for them. In the case of Robert Kiyosaki, he popularized the term cash flow quadrant and created a board game, training programs, and books around the concept that all became sources of revenue for him. Even if you're not in the training business, you can also be an intellectual entrepreneur. For example, in the marketing space, Dharmesh Shah, who is the founder of HubSpot, created the term inbound marketing and sparked a movement around inbound marketing. People who were into inbound marketing would subsequently buy his software and pay him money. HubSpot grew into a billion-dollar company as a result of that. Whichever industry you are in, you can be an intellectual entrepreneur, create an intellectual asset, and dominate your industry. On top of that, there are also the creative entrepreneurs like Walt Disney or the networker entrepreneur like Oprah Winfrey. The point is that there are many different ways to succeed. In order to understand our strengths and inclinations, we have to look into our background. Before I went into digital marketing business, I also did teaching of soft skills to JC students and working adults on the side. I love teaching and simplifying concepts for people. It was both an interest and a strength of mine. However, I didn't think of leveraging my strengths at first because I was busy looking at others and not myself. When we started leveraging my strengths and creating this type of educational videos, our business grew from 2 people to 30 people over the years and became the top 3% of agencies in Singapore. This method gets us 80% of our clients now. On hindsight, it sounds like a no-brainer, but I didn't think of making teaching videos to get clients. Whatever the case is, we should not just blindly copy the strategies of others just because they seem to be doing well in that area. When we copy others, we can never do it as well as them because it is not in our DNA to do that thing. Instead, we should find our own path and forge our way by leveraging our talents. Thanks for watching this video. Do like, subscribe, and press the bell notification button so that when new videos are released, you will be notified. I'll catch you soon.